Okay, I can see I'm going to have to do this first episode in 2 or 3 episodes because just a gentle breeze on that fingerprint reader, which is lovely. You know, I have like one little damage to the, I'm sorry, I shouldn't show the finger. I have one damage to the fingerprint I use, and the slightest wind or whatever will just shut me down. Let me start again, and I'll get right to the point this time because I'm going to upload the other ones before this one. I'm not going to try to start from the beginning every time. Welcome to the 30th parallel, which is the subject of much conjecture by ufologists, Bishop Fulton Sheen, people who are interested in the cosmic powers, quantum entanglement, aliens, etc. Dude, I've had many, but it's been a long time though. That's one of the problems here. That's why I'm doing it now. I've had many encounters, close encounters, with aliens, and most of it doesn't match. I can tell you, I'm going to start off right now. If you're listening, Einstein had a lot of stuff wrong, as Niels Bohr proved over and over again on a daily basis. And Niels Bohr was closer to being right. I respect Niels Bohr. Einstein was delusional for the last 35 years of his life. He was kind of just a quirky little Jewish kid. I'm Jewish, so YouTube, shut up. Don't block this. Perhaps I should catch your attention this way. I'm here just slightly north, but still within the 30th parallel, within the definitions of the pyramids of Giza, right that away. I'm sorry. My ancestor, Daniel Perry, when he surveyed this property on top of the hill, made it perfectly correct to the cardinal points of the compass. Actually, that way is north, that way is east, that way is west, and that way is south. And since I'm going to be forced to put this stuff up in shorter uploads and stuff, let me get on with it here. I've had strange encounters since 1980. I've kept my mouth shut most of the time, only talking to my mother, my wife, or other witnesses. But since, like I said in this segments that will precede this, and I guarantee you there are going to be at least 100 of them. They're going to be 1,500 minutes to 2,000 minutes. It's going to be a book worth because there's 100 books in my head about the physics, explanations, etc. But there's without question something special about the 30th parallel, although a lot of people lie. Like I was pointing out just before the wind turned this thing off, or possibly my voice, that if you go exactly in that direction, due east, that direction, you run into the Great Pyramid of Giza and Pyramids of Giza, and where almost all scholars say the Garden of Eden was, but is now submerged at the top of the Persian Gulf. Even though I'm quite sure that real intelligent humanity actually, and possibly the real Garden of Eden was on the Pamir Plateau, which is about an 8-degree deviation off of this parallel. And I want to correct once again that you will see many videos that says that the temple of Angkor Wat is on this parallel. Nope, I checked. It's like 2 degrees to the south or more. Was it almost 4 degrees? So people will just lie to you, but I really don't ask you to trust me. Trust but verify, okay? And I tell you something, go and look up. I'll try to give you citations, quotations, whatever, but look it up. I'm trying to really start off this whole series by trying to let you know that I've spent a lot of time thinking about this and not talking about it. I'm going to tell you right now, as I've told actually in public media, social media, many times, Einstein was nuts. He was delusional for over 35 years of his life. Niels Bohr and quantum entanglement proved that Einstein was old school and kind of retarded, okay? Alfred North Whitehead warned us, we scientists, we studiers of the natural philosophy, as science used to be called. And for all you atheists people out there, I want to remind you that modern science was founded by highly religious men, the rationalists, who had no trouble seeing nature's laws as God's laws. You uneducated imbeciles that just wreak havoc on YouTube and Facebook every day because you really stopped learning after about 6th grade and you never owned a library card in your life or I used to actually spend, if they would let me, depend on the university. I used to spend up to 48, 50 hours a day in a university. Sometimes I would actually, seriously, in some universities, I knew they would like stop at 10, midnight, wouldn't open up till 8 in the morning. I'd go and camp out in the stacks, and they wouldn't even notice that I had been there all night. Reading is fundamental. And every day I deal with people that don't even correct their autocorrect or their spelling in social media. You're such retards. Let me go back now. I want to take you back. I mentioned before that I have the oldest and most intelligent human DNA, the largest skulls, unusual teeth that you don't have, and O negative blood, the universal blood. And I know that my ancestors came from the north and moved 200 years ago today here to the 30th parallel because it's special. This is where the last warm, fertile land on earth was left. My great-grandfather, not Stephen Fuller Austin, his little punky, little short, never had no kids. We don't know if he's gay, whatever. Never had no children, legitimate or illegitimate. Was just our Spanish translator and our flunky. But actually, in that direction to the southeast, in 1819, 200 years ago this year, my mother's side of the family began to arrive and moved up into Washington County, Texas, which if you check is right on the 30th parallel. It's as close as Austin, Texas, which is named after my great uncle. I come from people of money, of education, going back 1,000 years, and we paid genealogy. My semi-retarded, uneducated cousins who came into oil and stuff like that, they paid people to confirm the oral tradition that I carry in my head. And thank God we are almost about to hit 10 minutes. I think I want to slow down here a little bit right now and take a sip. If you think that you know it all, despite your youth, God commands you to stand before white hair. Empiricism, baby. You know, Einstein and a lot of other people in the whole Spookoff von Wackermann thing, the quantum entanglement thing, argued over empiricism, first-hand observation. That's going to be a major issue in this series, which I guarantee you will last until my death. I'm not going to stop. I'm not some pumped up, jacked up jackaroo with 14 pounds of product on his hair on the History Channel doing ancient aliens and spinning everything, going like, wow, man, it's so incredible, when actually it's quite explainable. It's not really cogent to the topic. I'm going to tell you some incredible stuff. If you'll just look, this is the time. You know, in the past, I used to tell people, unsubscribe, go away. Even my best friend, I told him, unsubscribe, go away. Because I was just making records for myself and putting labels on them that I knew would bring them up and get viewed by the necessary people. But now, I want to tell, you know, even despite the fact that I discovered the cure for cancer, cannabis cures cancer, that's my work, I want to tell the story that I've been holding back since 1980. This goes back to 1980. I'm going to be all over the place and stuff like that. Most of you jerks that are interested in this subject, you will not watch anything that doesn't have a lot of flashy graphics and a high production value, is what you call it, you millennials. You know, unless somebody goes in and spends like weeks or months adding little gizmos here and there and, you know, doing CGI, which was invented by one of my classmates, Brad Carvey. CGI was invented by my classmate, Brad Carvey. It's called the wire wrap toaster. Cleaned up. He's been off for decades talking. He owns NewTek down in San Antonio, which handles a lot of secure communications between corporations. But you people, you young people, have this almost matrix-like delusion that you're somehow important or knowledgeable with thanks to Siri and Google and whatever. But you're not. God said to stand before white hair. That doesn't mean you have to obey what we said. It means consult people who are older and who have empirically experienced and seen more. Fuck you, Einstein. You're fucking retarded. I hate you. You're an embarrassment to our race, the Jewish race. You fucking retard. Einstein, Alfred North Whitehead warned to not get trapped in the delusion of reductionism. And Einstein spent the last 40 years of his life arguing with giants. Niels Bohr is not, or actually Niels Bohr is almost the equivalent of Sir Michael Faraday, really in science. Almost up there, way ahead of Einstein. And you retards don't know that. Look, I can see I'm creeping up on 15 minutes. I'm going to stop here. But if you want to hear the most fascinating story of my life, my conclusions, my observations, and my conjecture, you can do it here on the Biological Channel, Kent Kruger, which may soon be renamed the Book of Kent to compete with the Book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel wasn't that far off, bruh.